How are you? I hope you all are fine and safe at your home. So student, in today's video, we'll begin with the next poem of your book, which is The Ball Poem, written by John Berryman. About the poet. John Berryman was born on October 25, 1914 and died on January 7, 1972. He was an American poet and scholar born in McAlester, Oklahoma. He was a major figure in American poetry in the second half of 20th century and was considered a key figure in the confessional school of poetry. His best known work is the Dream Songs. Now, a boy lost a ball. He is very upset. A ball does not cost much, nor it is difficult to buy another ball. Why then is the boy so upset? Let's read the poem to see what the poet thinks has been lost and what the boy has to learn from the experience of losing something. So first I'll give you the summary or brief introduction of the poem. The Ball poem describes the grief of a boy over the loss of his ball. With that loss, he senses his first responsibility in a materialistic world where those whom you love and your worldly possession will not be with you forever. The poem shows how all through your life you will be forced to do things that you don't want to do, and you will lose or you have to give up things that you love. But despite this, you have to learn to stand up, to be strong, and get on with your life, no matter how much it hurts inside, because that is the only way you will survive. It thus teaches us to learn to accept and let go and not cling into something that you can never have. Now we will study the detailed explanation of the poem. This is stanza. First, this poem does not have any rhyme scheme. It is written in a verse form and it is written in single paragraph. But I want to explain you every single line. That is why I divided into two stanzas. What is the boy now who has lost his ball? What is he to do? I saw it go merrily bouncing down the street and then merrily over. There it is in the water. No use to say, oh, there are other balls. An ultimate shaking grief fixes the boy as he stands rigid, trembling, staring down all his young days into the harbour where his ball went. I would not intrude on him. A dime another ball is worthless. So, the poem is about a little boy. For the first time in his young life, he is learning what it is like to experience grief at the loss of a much loved possession. That is his ball. The ball is here symbolic of the sweet memories of his childhood. The boy loses his ball and watch it bouncing down the street into the water. And to us, the loss of ball is of minor consequence. But to the little boy, it was a valued possession. The poet here deter himself from saying that there are other ball because the boys want the same ball. The ball has been with him for a long time and it was linked to the memories of the day when he played with it. And when that young boy lose his ball, it bounces away and land in the harbour. The boy is very much troubled at the loss of his ball and he was in grief. He stands stiff and trembling while staring at his ball. He is upset as he look into the gloomy water because he cannot find the ball. The boy is profoundly affected by the loss of his ball because it has been with him for long time, and when the ball bouncing into the water, all his memories of childhood days flashes in front of him, and this leads to the realization that those moments would not come back, just like the ball. Moreover, the poet says that he does not want to intervene the boy's thought, as thought this experience the boy will learn the meaning of loss on his own. Further, the poet does not offer him money to buy another ball because that would be worthless. He senses his first responsibility in a world of possessions. People will take balls, balls will be lost always, little boy. And no one buys a ball back. Money is external. He is learning well behind his desperate eyes. The epistemology of loss, how to stand up, knowing what every man must one day know. And most know many days how to stand up. Now, the boy is upset when he looks into the gloomy water because he cannot find the ball. This is when he gets his first sense of responsibility. The poet suggests that from the loss of the ball, the boy is learning what it means to lose something in a world of possession, where he will lose things, will buy some more to replace the one lost, but would never be able to buy back the thing that he had lost. In the poem, the boy's ball personifies his young days and happy innocence. In this world, people will take ball just as they will take away your innocence and force you to grow up. And once you lose this innocence, you can never get it back. Ball will be lost always, and no one buy a ball back. The poet thus makes the boy understand about his responsibility, as the loss is immaterial. Money is external, as it cannot buy memories, nor it can replace the thing that we love, the thing that really matters. The poet suggests that from the loss of the ball, the boy is learning how to stand up in the world of possession. The boy is learning what it means to lose things. The poet says that knowing that every man has to stand up after such loss, the boy too will learn how to stand up and leave the loss behind, as he would have understood the true meaning and nature of loss. With this, we come to the end of this poem. But before that, I want to discuss the poetic device used in the poem. First, we'll discuss the first stanza. There is no rhyming scheme because it is written in verse form. So, there is no rhyme scheme. So, poetic devices used in first stanza is, first is anaphora. We all know what is anaphora. Use of repeated word in two or more line. So, here in the first line it is what, and in again second line it is what. So this is anaphora. Merrily, merrily. Third and fourth line, merrily, merrily. So this is also anaphora. Next poetic device is assonance. Repeated use of vowel, that is O sound. Boy, now, who, lost. O sound is prominent. So this is assonance. Next is alliteration. Use of consonant sound W in the beginning of two words. What, what. Alright. So this is alliteration. Then imagery. When the poet says merrily bouncing down the street, so it give us the, it take us the, we start imagining things. So this is imagery. Then repetition. Repetition is repetition of the word again and again, and here what is repeated again and again in the stanza. What. So this is repetition. Then one more poetic device, that is symbolism. When you symbolize something. So here the ball symbolize the boy young and innocence days. So this is symbolism. Then in next stanza, again alliteration, that is use of sound B at the start of two consecutive word, balls, balls. All right, so this is alliteration. And there is one more repetition, that is ball, because ball ball word is repeated again and again in the stanza, that is why this is repetition. Then again assonance, use of vowel sound, this time it is E. He is learning, again E. Well, E. Behind his desperate eyes, so the E sound is prominent, so this is assonance. So with this we come to an end of this poem. I hope you have understood the poem. All right, we'll continue the next chapter in next part. Student, please try to write the summary in your own words, and still if you have any doubt, you are free to ask. All right, we'll continue the next chapter in next video. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy. God bless you. Bye bye.